In this lesson using the status bar, we're using Workbook Lesson 01, Introducing Excel. At the very bottom of your Excel application is a light gray bar called the status bar. In the far left corner, we'll see Ready and Numlocks. You'll see that by default if your Numlocks is on and if you're ready to enter data. If I hit my Cap Locks, you'll see that Cap Locks appears in the status bar, and I turn my Cap Locks back off, it disappears again. Well, the status bar can show lots of interesting information. Let's highlight a few numbers. I'm in the Cells tab. I'm going to highlight a few numbers under November. When I highlight those numbers and I look over here on the right side of the status bar, I see the status of those four numbers that I highlighted. I see the average, the count, which is how many numbers there are, the minimum number, what the smallest number is, the maximum number, and the sum of all the numbers added up. This is extremely useful. Before you even try to develop a formula or run some other calculation, you could simply highlight some numbers and then you could see what the total is. Sometimes I refer to this as the genius bar because it makes you look like a genius. A lot of people aren't aware that this status bar even exists. Status bar is very handy. Well, we can turn features off and on in the status bar. Simply right-click in the status bar, and now you can choose from all of these different elements that you want to show. Like here is numerical count. It would show me how many numbers are selected, where count just shows me any data that's selected and how many there are. I think that this section right here is the most useful. Sum, maximum, minimum, average. Those are the ones that I use the most. But you might also want to make sure you know if your Cap Locks is on or if your Scroll Lock is on your keyboard. This can be very useful. It's called the status bar. Now, all the way to the right side of the status bar, and you could consider it part of the status bar, are three icons that are called Normal, Page Layout, and Page Break Preview. Now, these three buttons are different ways of viewing your data. Currently, we're in the normal view, and that's normally where we want to be. But you could also be here in Page Layout, and it will show you what it looks like when you print. This is really useful. It even has an interactive header that I can click on and change the header, and that's what you'll see printed on each page. Let's leave this for now because we'll talk about it in further lessons. Page Break Preview shows you what your page is going to look like when it prints and where the page breaks are. Again, we'll cover all of those more in detail in future lessons. The last thing we see down in the very bottom bar is what's called the zoom bar. It has a small bar that you can grab and you can zoom in and out. But you might find it's more useful to just click the minus or click the plus. And you can always notice over here, you can actually see what percentage you're at. Currently, I'm at 100%. Click a few times and I'm at 130%. Now, sometimes the question comes up, does using the zoom bar change my data in any way? And it does not. You don't have to worry about that. Nothing is actually changing as I zoom in and out.